talking. All right, let's start talking about getting your kitchen ready. So some of the standard things that we deal with are you got a counter, you got a sink, you got a fridge, you got a microwave, you got a toaster oven. So how do you deal with those for Pesach? So first of all, let's start with your fridge. Well, of course, you're going to make sure you don't have any chametz in your fridge. You're generally not allowed to have chametz accessible during Pesach. So if you have objects that are chametz, get rid of them. And even though you've sold your chametz through the rabbi, you really shouldn't have them accessible. You're not supposed to have them accessible during Pesach. So if you have things that you really can't get rid of, ideally what you should do is get yourself a box, a small box, put your chametz items in them, seal it up and write in big red letters, chametz, and place it back in the fridge, and that way you can avoid using them. That's a secondary option. Preferably, if you could, if you have a secondary fridge, you can just close up that fridge with some tape and write chametz on it with a big sign. That's even better. The same goes for freezer items. You also want, if you can, to clean your fridge if you can. I mean, listen, even if not for Pesach, it's probably worthwhile every now and then, knowing my fridge. Wipe down the surfaces. Sometimes fridges get all this like gunk on the shelves, and if so you put down an apple, and next thing you know, you're biting into an apple with a little bit of barbecue sauce on it. So I know that sounds very southern, but it ain't very Pesach, Dick. So we try to clean our fridges and our fridge shelves. Wipe them down. Some people will line them. Maybe that's a easier solution. Some people clean them and line them. Whatever's easiest. Either way, as long as they're clean is good. I try to clean it with bleach spray, so that worst comes to worst, if I wasn't able to get something off, the bleach spray obviously turns whatever food item was in the fridge into a non-food item. Because we have a concept called pugum, which means that when something's essential essence has been ruined, like by having bleach poured on it, it's not really a food anymore and has less of a chametz issue. So that's a fridge. As far as things like a toaster oven, I'm going to tell you, don't waste your time. I once had a fella ask me, can I clean my toaster oven for Passover? Have you ever seen a toaster oven? Yeah. So technically, this is one of those practical rabbinics questions where you theoretically can, but good luck getting rid of all of the crumbs and all of the bread and then heating it up to the temperature that will clean it. You'll end up with a melted lump of metal and plastic, and then it's kosher for Passover. But it's not much of a toaster oven anymore. So practically toaster ovens are just, put them away, put them in a box, stick them somewhere where you're putting your non-Passover items, and sell it with the chametz. As far as, let's say, a microwave, so there is a way to kosher a microwave. Generally speaking, it depends how clean your microwave is. You want to clean out the inside so there's no residue. Bleach sprays are good. Take a bleach spray if they're available in the store anymore, and wipe down your microwave on the inside. Make sure there's no actual residue of food. And once that's done, you take a glass bowl or glass cup of some kind, put water in it, and microwave it on high for about 5-10 minutes so you get a good load of steam going in there to clean it out. And at that point, your microwave is kosher for Passover, but it's preferable throughout Passover to, whenever you put anything down on that glass plate, put down a paper towel so that your Passover stuff doesn't sit on that glass plate in case who knows what's on that glass plate. That's the simple solution. It's not a very difficult thing to do, and there you got your kosher for Passover microwave. Generally speaking, when we talk about koshering things, you're really supposed to you must wait 24 hours and not use the item before you kosher it. So that's a critical point as well. Make sure that the thing has not been used in 24 hours before you kosher it. Okay? So that's your microwave. As far as ovens go, most ovens have self-clean, and that is the way they get koshered for Passover. Self-clean. The only problem is the door of the oven sometimes doesn't really get hot enough, and sometimes you look at the inside of the door of your oven and there's a lot of stuff on there. So some people will take some heavy-duty aluminum and just sort of wrap it around the inside of the door to isolate that after it's been self-cleaned. Once it's done and you self-cleaned, and now you're ready to use it for Pesach, so you take some heavy-duty aluminum, wrap it around the inside of the door, and that's that. If your oven does not have self-clean, it's a little more tricky. You might have to clean out the inside of the oven first with some of those oven cleaner sprays, which are yikes. Do that, and then after you've done that, put the oven on its highest temperature for like 2 hours to sort of, you know, furnace blast it out. Those are your options as far as ovens go. Most people's ovens, like I said, have self-clean. I hope your oven survives the self-clean. Some people's don't. Anyway, next time we'll talk about sinks and counters and a few other items, and then we can be done with kitchen prep.